Good day to you, one and all. It is I, Justin Hawkins, and this is Justin Hawkins Rides Again. Today is Comments Day. It's one of my favourite days of all. It's the 25th episode of Comments. So I'll be reacting to a carefully curated selection of your missives and answering your questions, responding to your queries in the only way I know how, with absolute truth. Justin Hawkins rides again. My absolute truth. Again. Oh yeah. First thing I'm going to do is say thank you to everybody, because it's 200,000 subscribers. We hit that momentous milestone just a few days ago, and obviously really thrilled to have done that, and thanks a lot everybody for your continued support. This is really enjoyable anyway, but to see it connecting with so many people is just really exciting, so thank you. Graham Dallas asks, a boring techie question, but what gauge string do you have on your acoustic? I've always gone for heavier, which are 13s plus, but that doesn't lend itself to easy bending, etc. Yeah, I'm probably somewhere in the middle. I don't actually know what gauge these are. They've been on there for a really long time, since we were touring with them. I'd imagine these are probably 11s though. Can't really bend them that well, but I think it's probably 11s. I should give it. I'll put the... So if you... Oh, for fuck's sake. That's what always fucking happens. This changes everything! Oh, there you go. So, tutorial for you. If you do indeed drop your plectrum inside the sound hole of your acoustic, simply hold the acoustic aloft, wobble it around, and eventually it will fall into your willing lap. There's another one in there from before. I think I was recording an episode about Faith No More. Lost a plectrum. It's still in there. Oh, anyway, never mind. One day I'll retrieve it. Thanks for your question, Graham. David Gaines says, this is another super thanks, cheers. After your talk about cover songs, what are your thoughts on Mad World beating you to Christmas #1? I love that version, but was it not a bit annoying to be beaten by a cover? Oh, I love that song as well. I think my offspring, my young daughter, she has Mad World on her playlist, and every time it comes on, I dance to it with her. Not the Gary Jules version that you're talking about that beat us. It's quite funny actually, because I met Gary Jules in an airport, like I think maybe like half a year afterwards, and he actually apologised to me, which he didn't need to do that. We were lucky to get, we felt privileged and lucky to get into the top 2. It nearly went to #1. It was a really fun week. But yeah, I'll talk more about that in my forthcoming book. Watch this space. Anyway, thanks, David. Appreciate that. Cheers. Jen Clinahans, another super thanks. In my house, we have a Justin Hawkins Rides Again drinking game. Take a shot every time we hear you get an email. My question, would you ever consider a Rick Beato crossover episode? The people demand it. That's brilliant. I'd love to do it. It's awesome. I've been trying to actually silence these notifications, and I don't actually know which of the computers it's coming from. It might be the one that I use to listen to stuff on, or it might be the one that I'm recording. Who knows? But if indeed it's inspired a drinking game, then it's my duty to keep it going. So thanks for that. Would I ever consider a Rick Beato crossover episode? Of course I would. I think he's awesome, and obviously the leader in this field. It'd be great to work with him in some capacity, or at least say hi online, ask him some questions and all that stuff. Would be brilliant. If the people demand it, indeed, demand it of him too, and let's see what we can get together. Let's try and make it happen. Stewart, Shrub. Hi Justin, love your music and the channel. Really enjoy your humble outlook on things. Anyway, just wondered, when was it that you were on stage in front of X amount of people and realised, oh fuck, this is it? The turning point in your mind when, I guess, it went from passion to job. Well, I think it's not really a numbers thing. I don't think it's like you suddenly get to like a milestone figure and then realize that's it. I actually think it's more when you start to recognize people in the front row that you've never met outside of doing that. The best example I can think of is the Robert Shaw, the webmaster for The Darkness. He was one of the very, very early uptake enthusiasts. He would travel to places like Cambridge to see us play, and he'd come to the London shows, and you'd see him in the front row absolutely rocking out every time. Of course, he ended up working for us, but in those first instances, we didn't know who he was, and the only thing we knew about him was that he's Robbie from the front row. So I think that's kind of like, I don't think it made me realise it was a job, but it made me realise that we were doing something that was connecting. So it's just that moment when people come into your life for no reason other than the fact that, you know, you're doing music that they enjoy. So maybe that's the thing. Vocationally, it still doesn't feel like a job, really. It's a hobby that we happen to get paid for. We're lucky. It's the greatest job in the world. John's 3, another super thanks, thank you. I have the cliche Yank addiction to the hook. Wayward Son from Kansas comes to mind, a song of multiple hooks. Does that mean I'm shallow in my musical inclinations? Well, it depends on your definition of the hook. I think if you look at something like Wayward Son by Kansas, that's a really complicated arrangement. I mean, of course, every part of it can be broken down, and then it's so catchy in its own right that it sort of operates as a hook. You could even just loop any one part of that, any one section, you know, compositional section of Wayward Son, and make it into a whole riff rock thing. But that doesn't mean it's shallow to enjoy listening to it. Hooks are the thing that pull you in, and the idea is that underneath the hook there's something far more sinister, or, you know, a wider concept or a conceit that you're putting across, and the hook is just the thing that you use to entice the listening ears, to introduce them to your more nuanced ideas, I think. So it doesn't make you shallow. No. That doesn't make it. It's not that makes you shallow. Okay, Linda Law says, what animal is your muse? I suppose this is after the one where Nick Cave was comparing his muse to a horse, or saying that his muse wasn't a horse. What animal is my muse? It is the silkworm, the humble silkworm. It will burrow and nestle in supreme comfort, and will seemingly be doing nothing. But what it creates is soft to the touch, durable, and incredibly stylish. So yes, the silkworm. Thanks for your question, Linda. Kenny McKenzie says, loving the content, Justin. Lovely stuff. Tell me, though, why are you holding a sausage in the video for I Believe in the Thing Called Love? Well, actually, there are two videos for I Believe in the Thing Called Love. The first one we made in Alex Smith, the director's apartment in London, and we shot a few bits and pieces outside, around and about. So one of the scenes in the original I Believe in the Thing Called Love video was in a supermarket, and I think I just grabbed a meat product and said guitar into it, and in that same moment... when we remade the video with a much larger budget, when it was going to be a hit single, we just kept the same meat product, which I'm assured was probably quite fizzy underneath the sort of exo skin that they have on these meat products. I don't think anybody dared to eat it. It's probably in a museum somewhere now, or it should be. James K says, with another super thanks. Cheers, James. I love your dry wit and positive outlook. When do you feel mainstream rock stroke metal started pushing towards a more gridded, produced and tuned sound? Will there be a resurgence of imperfect performances in the charts? Love from rural Victoria, Australia. Thanks, James. I was thinking about this morning, actually. I'm not sure when precisely grid rock became a thing, but I mean... probably with the advent of I think digital recording is going to lead to that sort of stuff. But there's also things you can do where you deliberately detune, like if you want to make a really fat spread of a stereo guitar image, you record one over here at normal tuning, then you record one over there at slightly flat tuning, or you can make this one like 1 centime or 5 centimes sharp, and this one 5 centimes flat, and it awakens the the stereo field in your brain and makes you go, fucking hell, that's huge, that guitar is, and you just play the same thing in both sides and it sounds like one enormous guitar. So there's tricks that you can do that involve clever tunings and stuff, and digital music has digital recording has enabled us to develop these things, but the temptation is always to suck all of the life out of the performances. I think there's no coincidence there's a lot of really amazing punk music happening at the moment. People have literally had enough of it. I was really pleased to see the Chats doing well with their new record, and it's one of the things that I covered last week, and even my video's doing well because people just love that stuff. It's imperfect and it's exciting, and it's coming back. So I do think that the resurgence is underway, James, so enjoy that. Make the most of it. It's an exciting time for music, weirdly. We're in a golden age for punk rock. Part of that's probably because of the Pistol TV programme, I reckon. And, of course, Lonely Boy and all the brilliant work that Steve Jones has been doing. So, yeah, great question. Thanks, James. Wheelie Good Travels with Mark and Steph says, a question for your question and answers podcast. I see that you and your brother are playing the Taylor Hawkins tribute concert at Wembley. Was wondering what made you perform, and are you looking forward to it? From Mark Gibbon. Thanks, Mark. To be honest, yeah, I'm really excited about it. I mean, I was contacted by some of the surviving members of the Coattail Riders, which is one of Taylor Hawkins' side projects, and they asked me if I would front that and do a few songs with them. I was like, yeah, of course I will. I'm really looking forward to it. Start rehearsing next week, and it'll be a brilliant night and a fitting tribute, and I think we'll try and do some uplifting stuff and celebrate his amazing life and career in the way that is befitting of this incredible musician and drummer and person. So yeah, thanks for your question. And I'm going to say thanks to all of the super thanks. This is an extra long list, unfortunately, because it's 2 weeks of them. So thank you all. Super thanks to Vicky Garnett, Keith Rocker, Frank T, Cashel, Troy L, hi, Jamie T. Lewis, John S., Tim Von Swine, Luca M, KC, Stuart Shrub, Graham Dallas, Brian O'Grady, Memo the middling guitarist, Reed Jorgensen, Bluesy Flusterer, Christian Budafuka, I got it, yeah. James K, Steph Gordon, Mimi, Mylene, Christopher Valfors, Mike DeCamp, Russ and his kids, Strange Device, Echo Craft, Ken C, Scott Erickson, David Jean, John Tovey, RS, Chris Leibing, Non McCarthy, Jen C, Witch Haunts Ghost, Daniel Moore, Knut Vadoy, Bran Walsham, T Shinji, ID Layer, Mike, Coffee Allen, Jigs111, Blue Television, Pippa, MSD Gaming, April Kurtz, Craving Beer, David Learn, Mitchell Duggan and Charles Cottle. So really appreciate you all. Thank you so much for the super thanks. It means everything to me. Fresh Poo Tube says, is JH as posh as he sounds? Just wondering. Not posh at all. I taught myself to enunciate because that's how you get on in life. I'm just kidding. No. No, well, don't know. Depends what you mean by posh. Do you mean generational wealth? Certainly not. My father was a builder. My mother was my mother. I just talk posh because it's fun to do that, and I think I enunciate because it's important to me to make sure that the things I say are clear and understood. I spent a lot of my time being misquoted, misunderstood, and I quite enjoy that in some ways, but for this, which is my voice, my channel, I want you to understand what I'm saying. So I speak posh. Simple. It's the Queen's English, isn't it? BBC. Justin Hawkins writes again. forget to like and subscribe and watch one of these 2 videos. All right.